Dear BSc second year students, so today I want to continue the aldehyde ketone topic and introduce you a new topic, particularly the carboxylic acids. So, as already you may be very familiar with the term aldehydes and ketones, that is C double bond O with two valencies. If the two valencies are satisfied by R and H is an aldehyde, R and R is a ketone. So this definition is completed. And I have given some structural elucidation, nomenclature, everything, and reaction with HCl, reaction with hydroxylamine, and reaction with alcohol. Now, the last few reactions that left in this topic are aldol condensation, Kenzo reaction, Wittig reaction, benzene condensation, and Clemmensen reaction. Okay, here my point of discussion is to move to the second slide. Let us see. So this particular carbonyl group having carbon plus delta and oxygen minus delta shows a resonating structure with a lift of pi bond towards the oxygen, making oxygen a minus and carbon plus, and having dipole moment for aldehydes, dipole moment for ketones, and compared to them, the aldehydes have less dipole moment. And the structure already you know, carbon to oxygen is 120 degree, and the two lobes are clouded above and below the molecule of the corresponding aldehyde and ketone, and that is why the pi bond can open and go for the so many nucleophilic addition reactions for aldehyde and ketones. So far I have discussed. Right now I directly move on to aldol condensation. So what is this aldol condensation? So let us see with a certain example. A condensation between the two molecules of aldehyde or ketone in which an enol or an enolate ion reacts with the carbonyl compound to form alpha beta hydroxyaldehyde or beta hydroxy ketone. So the product is known as aldol and the reaction is known as aldol condensation. Okay, this reaction is possible only if carbonyl compound must contain at least one alpha hydrogen. So what is this one alpha hydrogen? How condensation takes place? I will discuss with this general example. RCH2 C double bond OH plus RCH2 C double bond OH. Both are aldehydes or both are ketones. One aldehyde and ketones. Okay, so like this, when they are treated in presence of base. So here you may ask, what is alpha hydrogen? So RCH2 C double bond H, H C double bond O. This is the first carbon, and CH2. CH2 contains the two hydrogens, and these two hydrogens are on alpha carbon. Therefore, one has to remember that there should be hydrogen atoms present on alpha carbon. If it contains three different alkyl groups, then this reaction is aldol condensation is not possible. So aldol condensation is possible with RCH2 C double bond OH, two molecules in presence of base to give RCH2 OH CHR C double bond OH. Here now you can see alpha beta hydroxy, okay, aldehyde. The first carbon, that is C double bond OH, is aldehyde carbon, leave it. The next one is called as alpha carbon, and the next one is called as beta carbon. So on the alpha carbon there is a hydrogen, the beta carbon there is a hydroxyl group, that is why it's called as alpha beta hydroxyaldehyde. Okay, so this is a base catalyzed reaction. Aldol condensation is base catalyzed reaction, please remember it. Okay, now as far as possible, whenever the name reactions are there, you try to write the reaction and write their mechanism to get a maximum of 5 marks. Okay, now let us see, if an aldehyde or ketone is an aromatic, what happens? So here I have taken acetophenone and your acetaldehyde in presence of strong base. Okay, or an acid catalyzed reaction. This may also give you condensation of the two benzene ring with OH at beta position and carbonyl with attached to the phenyl ring. Okay, so this is the same reaction where I have represented the above reaction. So instead of a general aldehyde, you can use this molecule. Okay, now let us see here another example to make it point very clear. Acetaldehyde CH3COH CH3COH when treated with a strong solution of NaOH, a nucleophilic reagent, what happens here? CH3CHOH CH2COH. So the alpha hydrogen of CH3 of red acetaldehyde move towards the oxygen and make the oxygen as OH, black OH, and the carbon-carbon attachment takes place, that is CH3CH2 C double bond OH, and the second carbon contains OH and H. So this product is called as aldol. So two acetaldehyde molecules are there. So it is a acetaldehyde aldol product. Similarly, we can have the reaction between acetone and acetone. It is a dimer of acetone called as diacetone alcohol. Okay, so here the H of CH3 group of red carbon move towards the oxygen of CH3COO CH3 black, and whereby it moves and makes that carbon OH. So CH3 CH3OH and CH2CO CH3. So such reactions, when two aldehydes or two ketones or an aldehyde and ketone, either it may be aromatic or aliphatic, but condition is there should be or must be alpha hydrogen. Then and then only aldol reaction can take place. Okay. Now this aldol reaction mechanism can be represented by internet method, or else what I have given is I have made it more simpler with my viewpoint. Okay. Let us see. I have made it a very simple way to convince you. Aldehyde ketone containing one alpha hydrogen atom, when treated with dilute alkali like NaOH or KOH or barium hydroxide or potassium carbonate, undergo self-condensation to form beta hydroxyaldehyde or beta hydroxyketone. Such reactions are called as aldol condensation reaction. Okay, you can see here CH3 CHO, CH3 CHO, two acetaldehyde in presence of dilute NaOH gives an aldol, alpha hydroxybutanol. Okay, so this is what I have discussed with respect to acetaldehyde in the earlier case. The same thing will be here. Now you can see the mechanism. When we are representing the mechanism, the steps involved should be represented correctly. In the first step, what happened? The NaOH ionizes to give OH minus as a nucleophile. The OH minus nucleophile attached to the aldehyde. So HCH2COCH. Okay, and this is a slow reaction, and the proton of aldehyde will be removed by OH minus as a water, and you will get CH2 minus COH, that is enolate anion. This enolate anion undergo CH2 double bond CO minus H, the shift of oxygen towards the oxygen and shift of the negative bond between CH2. That is a resonating form of enolate anion, where oxygen contains negative oxygen as well as the carbon contains CH2. But for our reaction mechanism, we have enolate anion with the CH2 negative sign. Now in the second step, the enolate anion will now move towards the second molecule of aldehyde, CH3CO double bond OH. Okay, you can see then generally ketonic group contains negative oxygen and carbon plus. This is a note to you. Okay, so I hope you know it. Then I can show the shift here, and the carbon will be plus, oxygen will be minus, and the CH2 COOH minus enolate anion attached to the carbon, making CH3 CHO minus CH2 C double bond OH. This is a anion. Okay, so this anion contains oxygen with minus charge, and the condensation of two molecules takes place, but still it is having the negative charge. Therefore, in the next case, what happened, we will show the third step, protonation. So the water molecule HOH, one of the proton loses towards the oxygen, and OH minus will be eliminated, and you will get your aldol CH3 CHOH CH2 COOH, that is alpha hydroxyl butanal, not butanal, NaL. So the condensation may occur between two identical or different aldehydes, or two identical or different ketones, or aldol condensation may occur with one aromatic and another aliphatic also. So the condensation reactions of aldol mechanism can be understood very easily. So I am showing very slowly. If you are really interested to take all these reactions, you can run as it is and take down one by one. Okay, so the same mechanism what I have explained in my way is also represented in the sides. Okay, here that first aldehyde enolate forming anion of the enolate, whatever I have shown here. What they said is the anion enolate is having a minus charge, means that means it contains lone pair of electron, it is a donor, while the another aldehyde containing C double bond O is requiring needs the shift of the oxygen towards the pi bond, it is a electron acceptor. So that will give the anion, and that anion in the last step, it is a fast step, undergo protonation by water molecule to give OH minus and your aldol product. Okay, so this is how the mechanism can be understood for aldol. Now the next important is Kenizo reaction. So first let me give you what is the meaning of Kenizo reaction. It is a disproportionate reaction of aldehydes without alpha hydrogen in presence of a strong base to furnish an alcohol and carboxylic acid. This reaction is called as Cannizzaro reaction. That is, one molecule of aldehyde is reduced to corresponding alcohol, while the second molecule is oxidized to carboxylic acid. So let me say the same definition in different manner. If the two molecules of aldehyde, particularly benzaldehyde, containing no alpha hydrogen, when treated with NaOH at about 30 degrees centigrade at 30 minutes in laboratory in presence of water molecule, so out of the two molecule, one will converted into benzoic acid and another is converted into benzyl alcohol, that is C6H5COH, C6H5CH2OH. One is alcohol, another is acid. So here oxidation and reduction are simultaneously occurring. That is why this reaction is called as Cannizzaro reaction. Particularly, it is occurring in a disproportionate way. Therefore, it is called as a disproportionate reaction of aldehyde without alpha hydrogen. So there is no alpha hydrogen because there is a benzene ring C double bond OH. And the mechanism, you can see either this one or else whatever I am showing here with my viewpoint. Okay, so I am giving the both option for you. Whichever you feel, you can consider. Okay, so you can see, take two molecules of formaldehyde. One is converted into sodium salt of formic acid. Another is converted into methyl alcohol, that is methanol. Similarly, benzaldehyde I have given here. So benzaldehyde on treating with NaOH or KOH for several minutes, one will be converted into alcohol, that is benzyl alcohol, and another will be converted into sodium benzoate. Okay, now let us see the mechanism. What is the mechanism for this reaction? When the NaOH ionizes, it gives Na plus and OH minus, and the OH minus is a nucleophile attacks to the first molecules of benzaldehyde. That O minus, OH minus attack to the carbon, and the C double bond O shifts O minus, that is anion of this A form. Now this molecule will now react with the second molecule of aldehyde. That anion will react with second molecule of aldehyde. Let us see this particular reaction very carefully. Here the C double bond O is a pi bond shifts, as we know. This is a well-known phenomenon. The proton of the anion shift towards that carbon, okay, because that carbon become minus and oxygen become minus and carbon become plus. Okay, so here the C double bond O, the first anion containing O minus, that O minus transfers lone pair of electron towards the carbon, making, that is COOH, that is a benzoic acid is formed. And in another case, the shift of the proton will takes and it will use benzyne anion. This benzyne anion B, whatever I have shown, it is now allowed to react with the last part of the reaction, that is benzoic acid plus that CH2O minus and Na plus. So the H of the proton moves to CH2O, making CH2OH, and COO will become COONe, sodium benzoate and benzyl alcohol. So this is a mechanism. You can either use this my representation or the other internet downloaded mechanism you can see. Okay, so this particular reaction is called as Keniso reaction. So what is the Keniso reaction? I repeat again. When two molecules of benzaldehyde treated with NaOH undergoes self-oxidation and self-reduction. That means one molecule oxidizes, another molecule reduces to give sodium salt of benzoic acid and benzyl alcohol. Okay, so this involves three mechanism steps. Okay, so this is third reaction. Now we can go for benzene condensation. So what is this benzene condensation? Here, when two molecules of benzaldehyde and treated with aqueous, means cation, aqua means water, the cation dissolved in water, then the condensation of both molecules gives benzene, that is C6H5O, CHOH, C double bond O, C6H5. So this reaction is called as benzene condensation. So this reaction involves aqueous potassium cyanide, which acts as a base for this reaction. Now you can see in this, the benzene condensation is a condensation between two molecules of benzaldehyde to form benzene in presence of cyanide ion. The structure of benzene is that of a ketone. Okay, it's a ketone. It consists of acetophenone bearing hydroxyl group and phenyl substituent at the dihydro position. It's hydroxyl position. The UPAC name of this compound is 2-hydroxy 1,2-diphenyl ethane. Okay, so this is a reaction that you have to remember. So when two molecules of benzaldehyde allowed to react with aqueous cation undergoes condensation to form a hydroxy ketone compound known as benzene, And the mechanism of this reaction is, you can see, the KCN in aqueous condition ionizes to give K plus and Cn minus. The Cn minus attacks the first aldehyde molecule, that is C double bond O. O is minus, carbon is plus, okay, and cyano group ultimately attached to the carbon and making the anion. And this anion, when subjected for protonation, you will get a cyanohydrine. Already in the reaction you have learned, right? This cyanohydrine is subjected for hydrolysis. That is C triple bond N and H. You can see the H proton of the cyanohydrine and OH minus will be eliminated as a water, and C triple bond N will become C double bond C double bond N with lone pair of electron on the nitrogen. Now in this case what happened? The second molecule of benzaldehyde attacks. So you know benzaldehyde molecule, carbon plus, oxygen minus. Double bond, now what happened? Shifts, okay, between carbon and making the second carbon, that is C6H4COH, okay, COH, C triple bond N as it is, and that carbon, that is the second carbon, will get attached, C and C get attached with aromatic ring having OH minus. This on continuous protonation, that is subjected for protonation, the proton is added and you will get two benzene ring with OHCN and OHH. So this is again treated with a hydroxyl group to remove water molecule, and the anion of this kind is obtained, that is C6H5CCnO minus and carbon C6H5OHH. In the last step, the above product undergo rearrangement. How it undergoes rearrangement? Cyano group will be eliminated, Cn minus will be eliminated, and the lone pair of electron between oxygen and carbon shifts, making the carbonyl group, and cyano group eliminated, and the product containing two aromatic ring between carbonyl carbon and carbon with OH group. So this product is called as a benzene. So it's a very simple benzene condensation. When two molecules of benzaldehyde in aqueous cation undergo condensation, the product is called as benzene condensation. So this benzene condensation reaction, you may go through my point of view. So you can see same reaction is same. Aqueous cation, you can see the same anion formation, carbon anion B formation that already I have explained. Then now let us see in the second step, second molecule of C6H5COH benzaldehyde attacks, and you will get this anion C. Anion C undergo a proton transfer that I have shown in the above, and that in the next step, third step, the cyano group release and shift of the lone pair of electron, giving alpha hydroxyketone. Alpha hydroxyketone. That product is your final product. Okay, so this is benzene condensation. Now this is a very important name reaction, a very simple reaction. So first let me explain what is this reaction. This is Wittig reaction. It is a total synthesis of alkenes using alkenes, means carbon double bonded compound, alkenes using aldehydes and ketones. It is also a reaction in which alkene are produced from aldehydes and ketones. During this reaction, a ylide, Y-L-I-D, ylide is added to the aldehyde or ketone, and the double bond is formed in the same position as it is in the original carbonyl carbon. Ylides and okay, ylides are nothing but the compound with opposite charge on adjacent atom, both of which have complete octet. The ylide is used in case of this is in this reaction is triphenyl phosphonium ion is called as a ylide reagent. Okay, so let me say in a simple word. When aldehyde or ketone is allowed to react with an ylide, ylide is a negatively charged species. Okay, then what happened? The removal of oxygen leads to the formation of carbon-carbon double bonded compound alkenes. So both aldehydes and ketones will undergo same reaction. Now you can see R1C double bond OR2, it is a ketone. When treated with a triphenyl phosphonium ylide, you can see the structure. That is carbon with negative charge having lone pair of electron, where R3 and R4, these are the two different carbon atoms, attached with a phosphor and 3 phenyl group, 3 aromatic ring. When they are condensed, so this molecule is called as ylide. That is triphenyl phosphonium ylide. When treated with aldehyde or ketone, what happened that there is a formation of alkene. R1C, R2, double bond C, R3, R4. And the oxygen shifts to phosphorus, making triphenyl phosphate oxide. Okay, this is called as a Wittig reaction. Please remember what is Wittig reaction. When a ketone is treated with a triphenyl phosphonium ylide. Now I request all of you, what is this triphenyl phosphonium ion structure? You look it very carefully. That is carbon with lone pair of electron minus charge and a 2 alkyl group attached to phosphorus containing 3 phenyl group. It is called as a triphenyl phosphonium ylide. Now let us check with an example here. When acetophenone, benzaldehyde or acetaldehyde, anyone, for a better example I have taken is a acetophenone. Acetophenone when treated with triphenyl phosphonium ylide, that is carbon with negative charge with 2 proton on it and phosphorus with plus charge having 3 phenyl group. When they are condensed, then the oxygen will be converted or removed off and you will get benzene with the CH3 double bond CHH. Okay, so this is methyl phenyl ethene. This is a methyl phenyl ethene double bonded compound and you will get POPH3 triphenyl phosphine oxide. So this is a reaction. So this reaction is known as Wittig reaction. Now let us see the mechanism and some more reaction part. Now you may ask how the ylides are prepared. So triphenyl phosphine when treated with an alkyl halide, that is RX, in generally RX, or you can take a carbon CH R2R3X. Then what happened? pH containing lone pair of electron, phosphorus containing lone pair of electron gets shifted to the central carbon and the X will be eliminated and you will get triphenyl phosphorus with positive charge and R3HH. So this is the method in which one can synthesize the intermediate compound ylides, that is triphenyl phosphoylide. It can be prepared just by treating triphenyl phosphine with an alkyl halide. The lone pair of electron shifts and you will get the intermediate containing P plus and C minus. Okay, so this C minus formation is possible here, you can see here. So when organolithium reagent attached to this molecule, the H will be eliminated and you will get lithium halide RCH3, because the proton of this will be shifted, and you will get a ylide containing R3 and R4 on the carbon containing lone pair of electron. Whenever the excess of electron is there, it is indicated with minus charge, and phosphorus with plus charge. Okay, now you can see this mechanism. The mechanism already I have explained, but here the nucleophilic attack, there is a carbon containing lone pair of electron on the ylide itself acts as a nucleophile, attacks towards the central carbon of ketone, and C double bond O shifts. So you will get R1, R2, CO, P, CO minus, it is not that bond, it is O minus, and P, PH3, and R3, R4 on the second carbon. So this is oxophosphatane, right? This, okay. Here what happened, R1, R2, CO minus, and that O minus will make a bond between phosphorus and making a cyclic product, that is oxaphosphatane, right? So this molecule now undergo a typical reaction. So what is that typical reaction? You can see R1CR2O connected with phosphorus and that is a pH3, and again that phosphorus connected to the carbon having R3, R4. So there is a shift of bond between carbon to oxygen towards the phosphorus, that is PO double bond will going to form, and the PC bond will be shifted to the carbon. So alkene and triphenyl phosphate will the formation here. So this is the mechanism, right? Now with this we move on to the another important reaction, Claisen reduction. So the term reduction itself indicates addition of hydrogen, and the reduction is generally carried out by Rani nickel and hydrogen, or lithium aluminum hydride, or zinc amalgam and HCl, or copper in sulfuric acid. So variety of reducing agents are there. But for our Klemen condensation, when an aldehyde, you can see here, when an aldehyde treated with a zinc amalgam, so amalgam, it is a friendship between zinc and Hg. They are good friends. That is called as a amalgam. So amalgamated zinc and mercury dissolved with HCl. So here what happens? Zinc will react with HCl to form zinc chloride, and hydrogen will be liberated. The liberated hydrogen is used for the reduction. So acetophenol, when treated with this zinc amalgam in HCl, the C double bond O will be eliminated as a water, and the hydrogen, two hydrogens are added to that carbon, and you will get the ethylene benzene. Okay, that is a CH2 CH3 attached to the benzene is called ethylene benzene. Okay, or else you can see another example here, benzaldehyde. In case of benzaldehyde, the same reaction, zinc amalgam dissolved in HCl. Zinc amalgam means amalgam of friendship between the two positive metal zinc and mercury. So mercury is having a tendency to form a good friendship with the zinc, that is called as a zinc amalgam, remember, and dissolved in HCl, which react to give zinc chloride and hydrogen, and that converts benzaldehyde into toluene, that is methyl benzene, right? So this is a Clemmensen reduction. Okay, so just you can see here, that is Clemmensen reduction is a chemical reaction used to reduce aldehyde or ketone to an alkane. So zinc amalgam and concentrated hydrochloric acid are generally applied for this type of a reaction. Okay, now let us come to the mechanism part. So in the mechanism part, you can see generally a ketone pH means C6H5 phenyl ring, C double bond OR. Hence protonated. This reaction already you know, a carbon cation. It reacts with a zinc containing lone pair of electron and a zinc plus charged substance, that is molecule, and the lone pair of electron present on the oxygen will again protonated as a water, and zinc contains plus charge will attack the Cl, and thereby you will get this positive hydrated molecule. The hydrated molecule now lose a molecule of water and it will become PHC plus R zinc chloride. Then this will again now undergoes a series of reaction, removal of a Cl as a zinc Cl minus ZnCl, and you will get the zinc anion and carbon cation. Now this again protonated, and on protonation you will get this product, protonated product. This protonated product react with the Cl minus to give minus ZnCl and phenyl with RH, and in the last step again a protonation takes place and it will converted into aromatic alkane. Aromatic alkane means the benzene ring contain either CH3 or it may contain C2H4, etc. So this is a peculiar reaction. You try to remember what is Clemenson's reduction. Sometime a mechanism may be asked for you. Write the mechanism of Clemenson's reduction. Simply you can take either benzaldehyde or acetophenone, subject it for reduction. On reduction in presence of zinc mercury HCl, it reduces to corresponding the benzene containing hydrocarbon, and this carries a series of reactions, right? Now with all these I have completed the topic of aldehydes and ketones, name reactions, acid-base catalyzed reactions, so on and so forth. Now let me move to the another topic, that is carboxylic acid. So before I start the carboxylic acid, I will remind you, if you have any queries or doubt on the aldehydes and ketones, so please without any hesitation ask your questions comment box or to our departmental BSc second semester WhatsApp. Okay, now in the carboxylic acid, RCOOH, okay, they have mentioned naming, okay, nomenclature, structure, then conversion. There are 4 different conversions for your syllabus. Okay, so before all these things, let me start directly. What is a carboxylic acid? RCOOH. Here there is a carbonyl group C double bond O attached with a hydroxyl group. Okay, so that is COOH group is called as a carboxyl group. Okay, COOH attached to either aromatic or aliphatic hydrocarbon results into the carboxylic acids. Okay, so here this is a simple definition. A carboxylic acid is an organic compound that has a carboxyl group, that is carboxyl group is COOH attached to the either aldehyde or either aromatic or aliphatic carbon, and the results into the formation of RCOH. So that is your simple carboxylic acid. Okay, now let me move on to the other part. You can make a definition in different fashion also. A carboxylic acid contains a carboxyl group which is carbonyl group C double bond O having a hydroxyl group attached to this is called a carboxyl group. has a carboxyl group on carbon atom number 1. So always carbon atom number 1 of any carboxylic acid contains COOH. Okay, the most simplest example we have quoted here is CH3COOH, that is acetic acid, or you can write HCOOH, that is formic acid, or instead of that CH3 you can put a benzene, it is a benzoic acid, right? Suppose if there is a long chain carbon containing the COH group, the first COH, that is called the 1 carbon, next one is 2, 3, 4, 5. So after the first carbon, carbon number 2 is called as alpha, carbon number 3 is called beta, gamma, delta for 4, 5, 6, etc. So if there is a long chain hydrocarbon, then for naming, either you can use the numbers or you can use the Greek letter alpha, beta, gamma. Okay. Now let us see specific some example I wanted to quote here. Okay. Acetic acid, CH3COH, benzoic acid, formic acid, right? Then the other example, acrylic acid, maleic acid, fumaric acid. Okay, we can have pivellic acid, succinic acid, and phthalic acid. So these are some of the examples connected to carboxylic acid. Now, how to name them? The naming is done in a simple way. That is, alkane E is replaced by OIC acid. Okay, so you can see in the better example. COH group is your acid, and the valency of the COOH is attached with hydrogen, means only 1 carbon. It is called a methane. Methane E is replaced by OIC acid, so it is a methanoic acid. Similarly, ethane, CH3 is a methane. So the E of methane is replaced by OIC acid if the second carbon is, or the first carbon is COH group. So ethanoic acid. Okay. So like this one can name these compound. Okay. I don't want to discuss much more about the rest of the example. Here you can see I have quoted a long chain carbon. Carboxylic acid is there, COH on first carbon, second carbon contains CH2, third contains CH3, on carbon atom number 3, there is a methyl group. So it is called a 3-methyl butanoic acid. So all these things you have learnt in your PUC, just remind whatever the rules of naming for these compounds. Okay. Now for aromatic compounds, benzoic acid is there containing only 1 COH. If the same benzene containing 2 COH, it is called phthalic acid. And phthalic acid at 1 and 2 position is a 1,2 dicarboxylic benzene, phthalic acid. 1,3 dicarboxylic acid is called as isophthalic acid. 1,4 dicarboxyl is called as terphthalic acid, right? Now similarly you can have maleic acid, a dicarboxylic acid, and fumaric acid. So not only 1 COH, there may be possibility of 2 COH, right? Now I will give certain examples pertaining to these compound and their UPAC name. That is only 1 carbon atom with COH group, that is HCOH, formic acid. That is a common name. So formic acid is isolated from red ants. Okay, so the source is red ant, and the common name formic acid, and UPAC name the formic acid containing 1 carbon, methane E is replaced by OIC, methanoic acid. Then CH3COH, acetic acid, is called ethanoic acid. CH3CH2COH, it is a propionic acid. Okay, it is a propionic acid. Okay, the source of the propionic acid is milk, and the source of the acetic acid is vinegar, which is obtained from a plant called acto. Then butyric acid, CH3 CH2 twice COH, CH3 CH2 twice COH, butyric acid. Okay, so it is a butyric acid, and uh, it is present in butter. Then you can see valeric acid. It's a pentanoic acid, CH3 CH2 3 times COH. It is a valeric acid and is obtained from the plant roots of the valerian. Then caproic acid, CH3 CH2 4 times COH. So it's isolated from the goat. So it is a hexanoic acid. Then CH3 CH2 5 times COH. In our enantioic acid, it obtained from Venus. So it is a heptanic acid. Then caprylic acid, it is also obtained from goat. It is a octanic acid. Then palmaric acid containing CH3 CH2 7 times COH. Okay, so these are the certain examples and their sources of your formic acid. Sorry, in generally the carboxylic acid. Okay, now let us see the structure of formic acid. So if you want to see the structure of formic acid, I have represented here HCOOOH. The bond angle between H2 double bond O is 125 degree and O2 O is 125 and O2H is 106 and hydrogen to oxygen, just a circular I have shown, is 110. So that is a bond angle for any carboxylic acid. And the bond length between carbon-carbon, carbon-oxygen, carbon-oxygen and carbon-hydrogen, just you can see. Carbon to hydrogen 1.10 angstrom, carbon to oxygen 1.23, carbon to oxygen 1.32, oxygen to hydrogen of the hydroxyl group 0.97. That's the bond length. The sp2 hybrid carbonyl-carbon atom is planar. This molecule is planar with a nearly trigonal bond angle. Okay, and the the oxygen to hydrogen bond is always lies in this plane, especially with C double bond O bond. And the sp2 oxygen has carbon oxygen hydrogen bond angle of 106. So that is a bond angle between carbon, oxygen and hydrogen of sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, so this is a structure that I want to say is the central carbon which is attached with the COH group is sp2 hybridized and is a trigonal bond. And we know that C double bond O is having a capacity to shift its lone pair of electron. Therefore, carbon will be plus and oxygen will be minus. That let me give in the next slide. You can see. So this is how the resonance structure will be established between two carboxylic acid structures. Both structures are one and the same, but what is the change? Position of the double bond and charge on carbon and oxygen. In the first case, what happened? Oxygen is delta minus and carbon will be plus, delta plus. But when it resonates, so when the resonation occurs, means C double bond will shift towards the carbon to oxygen. Then carbon will become, carbon will become carbon to oxygen double bond with plus charge, and the next oxygen, earlier oxygen will get minus charge. Okay, so the major structure and minor structure represented in the resonating structures. Okay, carbon is sp2 hybridized, bond angle is 120. Oxygen to hydrogen eclipsed with carbonyl to get overlap of pi orbital with a lone pair of electron of the oxygen. Okay, so this is the idea regarding the structure. And now next time I wanted to study the acidic property of carboxylic acid. as per your syllabus, what they have mentioned, the starting with acetic acid, chloroacetic acid, dichloroacetic acid, and trichloroacetic acid. What would be the strength of this, and how the strength of acid is generally represented? So it is represented as a pKa of any acid, acetic acid, chloroacetic acid, whatever it may be. So how it is can be calculated? Just you can see this pKa is equal to negative log of Ka to the base 10. Now what is Ka? Ka is obtained, just you can see the hydrolysis of the carboxylic acid with water to give anion and H2O. Ka is applying law of mass action, you will have RCO minus and H3O plus multiplied and divided by RCOH. So concentration of cation multiplied by anion and divided it by unionized carboxylic acid concentration. So that will give you the K. Now applying pK, you can calculate it. So with this, let me complete this topic at this stage, and we will consider next time discussing regarding the acidic strength and certain reactions of carboxylic acid. So meanwhile, I again request you, keep you people stay at home, wear mask, sanitization your hand, and keep the social distance and be alert. Okay, so with these few words I wanted to complete the today's topic. Okay, thank you.